Is she out of her mind? On what grounds?
I don't feel like I'm in jail. I feel like I'm in an insane asylum.
The groundbreaking experiment returns for the first time ever with 7 former inmates.
3.5 years.
8 years.
26 years.
6 different prisons.
If we can't do this, no one can.
I want to help better the conditions. The purpose is to help people suffer less.
I feel like I'm buried alive.
It's going to be the hardest 60 days of my life.
60 days in.
The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello and welcome. This is TVWAN News. In this edition, Bosavi mobile communication towers, replenishing fish stock in Morabe, and Viper snatch win from Premier. Plans are afoot to remove communication barriers affecting the people in Mount Bosavi, local level government in Nipakutubu district of Southern Highlands Province. The LLG has partnered with Southeast Mananda Special Purpose Authority for the installation of 4 mobile communication towers in Mount Bosavi LLG, Mount Sisa LLG, and Como LLG.
The kidnapping incident of expatriates in the jungles of Mount Bosavi and Kutubu area has prompted local level governments in these areas to establish communication services immediately. The Mount Bosavi LLG last week presented 400,000 kina to Southeast Mananda Special Purpose Authority to set up 4 communication towers in the area to enable communication with authorities. Mount Bosavi LLG President Daffy Meo said these are basic services that will connect these people to the outside world, considering their remoteness.
One brother go down to Muruma, Gama Station, one brother go down to Onapasru, Logoragu, one brother go down Bosavi.
The Mount Bosavi LLG also gave a check of over 360,000 kina to Tropicare for air transport services in times of need, including reaching healthcare services. Tropicare senior pilot Captain JP received the check.
And yet, especially this LLG, the Bosavi LLG, still, not developed, no roads, no nothing. And the steps you, the president, and every one of you, the leaders of Bosavi, taking this step forward to developing your area is a vital step, and involving the airline industry to help you make that happen. It's a better step forward, because
Mount Bosavi LLG Consultant Manager Alan Riggs said the LLG has also purchased 6 Lucas sawmill to implement its rural housing infrastructure project.
Plenty time, though I'm stuck inside long project area, that's the only district na LLG or people where no got government service na look somewhere below this plan. Appreciating all the resources, all God na, all the committee long government. And so long this partnership one time, Kutubu LLG, Long now you can look him after long 2 years or 3 years go through long some like in court case where only like trying no excessive funding law underneath long agreement where I mean non-government grants through law display Kodi look sabe long need long bosabe one time kudu allergy now maybe like look sabe long sample workbook lo come out.
Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
Papua New Guinea and Fiji are among 38 countries globally with rising HIV infections. Since 2010, new infections have increased by 129% in Fiji and 46% in Papua New Guinea, with rising AIDS-related deaths across the Pacific region. These factors put the entire Pacific at risk.
The Pacific Heads of Health meeting in Fiji were encouraged to jointly address the region's growing HIV vulnerability through the investment in proven prevention, testing, treatment, and care approaches. Health Ministry's senior advisors learned of rising AIDS-related deaths across the region, along with increasing new infections in Fiji and Papua New Guinea, which put the entire Pacific at risk. The challenge calls for bold and coordinated action to scale up prevention for young people, reduce new infections among key population communities, eliminate mother-to-child transmission, and expand access to antiretroviral therapy for people living with HIV. For the first time since 2015, HIV was on the agenda at the Pacific Heads of Health meeting. The Pacific Highlands Regional Multi-Country Coordinating Mechanism, or PIRM-CCM, which provides oversight for the implementation of the Global Fund's grant to address HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria, expressed concerns alongside UNAIDS, UNDP, and the WHO. Data from UNFPA point to high levels of sexual and gender-based violence, increasing the HIV/STI transmission risk among vulnerable populations, including young women. According to UNAIDS estimates, Fiji and Papua New Guinea are among 38 countries globally with rising HIV infections. Since 2010, new infections have increased by 129% in Fiji and 46% in Papua New Guinea. Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
Papua New Guinea is ready to receive both U.S. President Joe Biden and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi next month. Prime Minister James Marape made this announcement on April 29, 2023, after the White House officially confirmed that President Biden would make a historic visit to the country on Monday, May 22, 2023.
U.S. President Joe Biden will have a bilateral meeting with Prime Minister James Marape, as well as have a meeting with 18 Pacific Island leaders of the Pacific Island Forum, who will be in Port Moresby at the same time for the Forum for India-Pacific Islands Cooperation. Marape, in a statement, said Papua New Guinea is ready to receive both President Biden and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He said this is a historic first and at the same time a going forward futuristic meeting of global superpowers in the biggest country in the Pacific. In the Indo-Pacific conversation, Marape said PNG and the Pacific cannot be ignored. He said with our combined forest and sea areas, we have the world's greatest carbon sink and the biggest sea and air space on Earth, and we also face the greatest threat to our existence as climate change affects our lifestyles and our economies. The Prime Minister is happy that at the scheduled time of meeting with Indian Prime Minister Modi, as U.S. President Biden will also be coming to pay his respects to the Pacific leaders. Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
Security preparations are underway for the visit by U.S. President Joe Biden and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi next month. Commissioner of Police David Manning said whilst details cannot be disclosed, these are two very important visits and measures are being taken to ensure the visits are successful. Prime Minister Modi will be in the country for a 2-day visit for the Forum for the Indo-Pacific Islands Cooperation, whilst President Biden will be making a 3-hour stopover en route to Sydney, Australia for the Quad Leaders meeting. Manning said 18 Pacific Island leaders will be in Port Moresby as well, and so planning has begun in earnest to ensure these world leaders have a safe and memorable experience in PNG. The Supreme Court has dismissed an application filed by Medang Governor Ramsey Pariwa to review the National Court's dismissal decision of his application to dismiss Peter Yama's election petition. His counsel, Dr. Ben Lomai, explained outside the court last Friday that Justice David Cannings made the ruling against the application on the grounds that the issues raised by Pariwa in the application were without merit but could have raised as a ground for competency in the National Court. The matter will now go to court tomorrow, Tuesday, May 2nd, 2023, for a status conference to set the date for full trial in Medang.
Basically, Ramsey Pariwa has got about 10 grounds, but Justice Cannings were of the view that most of them were unmeritorious and of repetition. So, and few of them were of academic exercise. But there were 2 grounds which His Honor Justice Cannings were of the view that they may have some substantive points of law in which it can be reviewed in the Supreme Court. But when he looked at the law itself, the arguments that we submitted to the court, he was of the view that those arguments were more or less of an academic exercise.
The Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary has launched its new website on Friday. Internal Security Minister Peter Samalili Jr. was on hand to officiate that at the Stanley Hotel in Port Moresby. Minister Samalili called it a milestone achievement for the organization and the country. The website is part of the Constabulary's digital development initiative aimed at bringing the RPNGC into the digital age. Internal Security Minister Peter Samalili Jr. launched the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary website at the Stanley Hotel in Port Moresby on Friday, April 28th.
More with our people. We want to be relevant, and now more than ever, I want to ensure that the organization of RPNGC brings a better experience to every citizen in this country. So with that, I can't express any further, but I just want to thank Commissioner and his team for
the website will improve the police force's digital capabilities and engagement with the public. Police Commissioner David Manning believes that the website is a symbol of the commitment to move into the digital age of policing. He highlights in his speech the importance of adapting to digital technology in the pursuit and discharge of policing duties and responsibilities.
I am honored to stand before you this afternoon as we mark a significant milestone in the history of the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary. Today we officially launched the RPNGC website, a platform that will redefine our engagement with the community and our approach to modern policing. It is a milestone achievement in that it symbolizes our commitment to move into and adapt digital technology in the pursuit of and discharge of our policing duties and responsibilities, as required by our Constitution.
The RPNGC website will serve as a central hub of information for citizens, providing access to important updates, public safety tips, and crime prevention resources. It will also enable the constabulary to maintain a constant line of communication with the public, facilitating the reporting of crime and fostering trust and collaboration between the police and the communities they serve. The website also marks a significant step towards enhancing transparency and accountability within the constabulary, as it features a portal where citizens can report police misconduct and lodge complaints, ensuring that the actions of officers are always held to the highest standard. The RPNGC website will act as a platform for collaboration and information sharing with international law enforcement partners, allowing the organization to learn from best practices, access global resources, and develop innovative solutions to tackle the complex challenges of modern policing. He assured the public that the RPNGC website is just the beginning of the organization's continuity in investing in digital solutions to enhance its capabilities and better serve Papua New Guineans. You're watching TVWAN News. CCAC's first meat and replenishing Morabe's fish. We'll have those stories and more after the break.
With BSP Internet Banking, you can enjoy your banking at home, at work, or wherever you are. BSP Personal Internet Banking allows you to view your accounts and transactions, transfer money, bill pay, schedule future payments, or access your bank statements. Visit your nearest BSP branch to register now. BSP Internet Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
Whether we're playing sport, exercising for fitness, being active for work or play, just having some fun, or just chilling, there is one name we can count on that we know will keep us going strong. Skell Rice. Healthy, nutritious, delicious medium grain rice full of vitamins and minerals. Skell helps us maintain a healthy, active lifestyle so we can enjoy every day.
Skell Rice. Skell Rice.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Find PNG made.
Our journey starts with you. We'll be there from the start, right through to your life's adventures. We'll ensure comfort and make your safety our priority. We'll take you to memorable moments, no matter where it begins. And we'll get you there like we've always done. The 4th generation coaster bus, more than just a bus.
A quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier but you like it more.
Am I gonna die? I was hoping to get to know you.
Every beginning is the end.
How is Robbie doing?
He's in the ER and needs the operation. But we're short on cash. What should we do now?
I will figure it out.
You attempted to rob a bank. But what for?
It wasn't my fault. Would you please believe me?
And every end is the start of something new.
I love you so much, Emma.
I will be Robbie's father from now on.
Well, folks, after literally years of negotiation between the fan and the management of Steve Menzies, we have secured the great man for the show. Welcome to the fan.
This is all going through my head, and then all of a sudden he passes it back. Oh, my God.
Today we have enlisted the help of Panthers co-captain and superstar halfback.
When you've kicked it well, you usually know, and especially on the chip kicks, I usually know.
Thanks to Nathan Cleary, invaluable insight for the fans out there, for the kids out there.
Welcome back. The Community Coalition Against Corruption recently held its inaugural national meeting in Lae, Morabe Province. The event was co-hosted by the Lae Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Recommendations derived from discussions on issues of high national impact will be used to form a work plan for CCAC and drive awareness on these issues nationally. The Community Coalition Against Corruption's first national meeting in Lae, Morobe Province was attended by 46 community-based organizations and industry representatives, including the PNG Council of Churches, Trade Union Congress and the media, and 18 members of the Lae Chamber of Commerce and Industry representing the business sector. In his opening remarks, co-chair Neville Choi spoke about the CCAC, saying at its core, the coalition is a model for national unity against corruption. Choi said while all organizations represented at the meeting are doing great work in specific sectors of the communities, the CCAC presents itself as a platform through which organizations can come together and present a unified voice against corruption. Participants engaged in active discussions on issues of high national impact and urgency. The key issues shared at the meeting, amongst others, were the conduct of elections and how we can improve government procurement and improving the performance of the public service, the growing levels of violence in our communities, and importance of free and independent media. The recommendations from CCAC meeting will be articulated into a consolidated list of priorities, which will form the work plan that will be shared with the coalition. A steering committee has been set up to lead the work plan and drive awareness and attention on these issues nationally. The coalition's operations, its agenda and priorities will be determined by CCAC members. Prime Minister James Marape recently issued directives to fast-track the completion of the country's National Agriculture Development Plan 2024-2033. Directives were issued to commodity ministers, coffee, oil, palm and livestock to complete the review of the NADP 2006-2017. In addition, the review of related plans, respective legislation, establishment of the new NADP, and finalization of the agriculture and commodity bills. Acting Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock, Dr. Nelson Simbiken, said the agriculture sector was now taking the lead under the auspices of the Minister Aye Tambua and his office in urgently implementing the review of the expired document and to formulate a new NADP 2024-2033. Dr. Simbiken said the consultants were currently hard at work reviewing the NADP with the first preliminary draft report to be submitted to his office by the end of the month. In the past, the people of Morobe Rural LLG can catch fish near the shoreline. Today, they have to paddle several kilometers out into the open sea in their dugouts, even at night, to catch just enough to feed their families. Morobe LLG Rural Development Officer Joyce Ann Zamunu has initiated a project to replenish the fish stock as well as rehabilitate the mangroves around Zigori village in the Huon Gulf district. The Integrated Mangrove Rehabilitation and Fish Mariculture Project has been initiated by Rural Development Officer Joyce Ann Zamunu to address food security, malnutrition, climate change, and local economic growth concerns in the Morobe Rural LLG. Zamunu said the proposed mariculture project seeks to integrate cage fish farming with mangrove rehabilitation in Zigori village. Zamunu, whose father is from that part of the Huon Gulf district, has a Bachelor in Veterinary Science from Massey University in New Zealand and a Bachelor in Agriculture Science from the PNG University of Technology. She was attached with the Morobe Provincial Administration's Department of Agriculture and Rural Implementation in 2016, which saw her pay regular visits to Zigori. She spent 5 years at the remote LLG, noting the lack of basic services in health, education, law and order, as well as the lack of water, electricity, and economic activities. The opportunity to help her people presented itself through the Canadian government's Local Incentive Fund, where she submitted a proposal in 2021 and successfully bid for the project in 2022. The three-phase project, to be implemented over a 3-year period starting in 2022, is estimated to cost 136,140 kina, 50 toya, and will be funded by both the Canadian government and Huon Gulf District. Zamunu said the project will capture the wild stock of endemic fish species and farm them in cages. When the farmed fish reach marketable sizes, 80% of it will be sold or consumed, and the remaining 20% thrown back into the sea. In this way, food security is ensured, income is generated, and the environment and natural balance is restored. The rehabilitation of mangroves will create a conducive environment for fish and other marine organisms. Zamunu stressed that this is a multifaceted project that will, in the long run, address the development, economic and food security issues affecting Zigori village and Huon Gulf district as a whole. The first phase of the project, which covers mangrove rehabilitation and the healthy island concept, has been completed. Zamunu and her team are preparing to return to Zigori for the second phase, which includes the building of fish baskets to grow fingerlings. 25 student teachers at Madang Teachers College successfully completed an intensive short program in marine environmental education. The program helped students aspiring to be the next generation of primary school teachers to learn more about marine biology and ecology, marine management and conservation, ecosystem connectivity and climate change. Science lecturer at Madang Teachers College, Charlie Koss, is facilitating this program. He believes that targeting groups in the education system will help promote marine conservation in PNG. The student teachers did field work including planting mangroves and conducted a basic assessment of different marine species and habitats. Student teacher Evelyn Ovifa from Eastern Highlands said the practical fieldwork will help her explain marine conservation better and overall the importance of looking after the environment. International Dance Day 2023 was celebrated globally on 29th April with the theme Dance, a Way to Communicate with the World. The day aimed to showcase the incredible diversity and talent of dancers around the world and to highlight the power of dance as a tool for communication, self-expression and social cohesion. To mark International Dance Day, the NCDC Active City Development Program organized a Walk for Life on 30th April from 5:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. The walk started at Sir Hubert Murray Stadium and ended at Ella Beach, where an official program featuring dance performances and awareness speeches by invited speakers was held. The objective of the Walk for Life was twofold. Firstly, to promote health and fitness among city residents and organizations, and secondly, to raise awareness of the value of dance as a tool for health and well-being. Over 400 people participated in the program, which was a huge success. During the program, ACDP recorded several outcomes. Firstly, it created awareness and educated the public on the benefits of dance. Secondly, it provided a platform for existing dance groups to showcase their talents and skills. 5 dance groups were invited to perform and they all wowed the audience with their amazing dance routines. Finally, the program invited 3 speakers to share their experiences and inspire dances. The speeches were insightful and inspiring, and they emphasized the power of dance to bring people together and to bridge cultural, ethnic, and political differences. International Dance Day 2023 demonstrated the power of dance to connect people from all walks of life. The NCDC Active City Development Program deserves commendation for its efforts to promote health and fitness and to raise awareness of the value of dance as an art form and a tool for social cohesion. This is TVWAN News. When we return, a look at what's making headlines overseas.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
All One Talks add some excitement to your festivities with the Flame Easter Bonanza. Win a slice of a whopping 300,000 kina by purchasing the Flame Family Bundle Pack, which includes rice, sugar, flour and vegetable oil, all in one go. Highlight these goodies on your receipt and scribble your full name and contact details on the back and pop it in the entry box in selected stores across PNG. 4 fortnightly draws, 100 winners, 3,000 kina each. You don't want to miss out. This promotion ends on the 31st of May. Flame, strength and energy. Terms and conditions apply.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Add your kakaro, get up and big smile on face. Time for kim chicken, a great kumutu.
PNG, the taste PNG loves.
Hardware House is more than just a store. It is where quality meets affordability, where culture is proudly celebrated. Spanning 9 provinces, we pride ourselves in offering top-notch customer support and services. We're more than just a store. We're more than a brand. We are Hardware House.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Laga, Bunyamyumi.
Right now, we're facing a man-made disaster of global scale. Our greatest threat in thousands of years, climate change. If we don't take action, the collapse of our civilizations and the extinction of much of the natural world is on the horizon.
WWE! This is your chance! Swanton! He hit it! Oh no, mommy! Do something! Oh my God!
Welcome back. To overseas now, a critically endangered species is slowly making a comeback in Victoria's wilderness. Efforts to save the helmeted honeyeater have taken flight with a program to increase the population.
These little birds are preparing to take their first flight out into the wilderness of the Yarra Ranges. They've been raised in captivity by Zoos Victoria, so they're a little hesitant to get out of their safe zone, but not for long.
They're quick, they're aggressive, they're social, they're a very charismatic little bird.
The helmeted honeyeater is the state bird of Victoria, but the species is critically endangered. A decade ago there were only 60 left in the wild. But they've got a new lease of life thanks to a breeding program by Zoos Victoria and support from the state government.
Well, of course, we want to make sure that all of our breeding programs such as this one are successful, and I think the numbers speak for themselves.
This year alone, 30 birds have been released back into the wild. Experts say the need to sustain the honeyeater goes beyond it being an emblem.
When we lose a species like the helmeted honeyeater, when we don't have a strong population, what we really come to know is that our forests are under stress.
The Ash Wednesday fires devastated the species, but now there are plans to open a third habitat in the next year.
And the really important thing is that in the event of a fire, in the event of an extreme weather event, we don't just have one population because that's incredibly high risk.
Thanks to a joint community and government conservation effort, the critically endangered bird now has more than 200 in the wild. Along with today's release, that means there'll be a population increase from last year. As the conservation program continues, it's hoped these honeyeaters can hold their own in nature.
Migrant women are often overrepresented in domestic violence figures and overlooked when it comes to awareness. Many are too scared to speak up about their abuse for fear they'll be shamed or shut out from their communities.
But Prisha never knew she was a victim of domestic violence.
I was not allowed to talk to my family over the call. I was not allowed to go out of the home.
A neighbour had heard the commotion coming from Prisha's home for months when she decided to act, secretly giving her the number for DV Connect.
She threw it towards me, and then she gave me a gesture to ring on the number.
Prisha escaped her husband and took her child with her. Now she works with victims of domestic violence and has realised stories like hers are common, especially in migrant communities. A study from Monash University shows 1 in 3 migrant women have experienced domestic violence.
People are very scared to speak up about it. It's because it's like, it's bringing shame to the family.
Sonia Kamari and Bushra Aman work at a multicultural health organisation in Brisbane and say more than half of their clients have experienced or are experiencing domestic violence.
Women who are on temporary visa would tell us that they've been threatened, that if they go out and talk to somebody else, they will be deported.
Queensland's Women's Legal Service says many of their clients from migrant communities come to them with concerns about visas and custody.
I think some of the most vulnerable people are in those really perilous positions where they're on temporary visas or visas that are attached to perhaps a spouse who's using violence in the relationship.
Those who work in DV prevention say the biggest challenge right now is awareness, and the responsibility lies with everyone in communities, religious groups, workplaces and in the media, making sure women know what domestic violence looks like and where to find help.
And it's okay to seek help. You shouldn't be feeling ashamed that you're seeking help.
You should speak up. You should stand up and speak up.
Caravans, tiny homes and cabin rentals are being advertised at seemingly high prices, and councils are struggling to regulate the increased uptake.
Stuart Page has big dreams for this idyllic block in Tasmania's far south. He wants to build a house for him and his partner, a small dwelling for his parents and another for his brother who's on a disability pension. But council rules only allow one ancillary dwelling.
It does take its toll because I naively thought it would be simpler than what it has been.
Chris Meyer lives in a caravan in a friend's backyard in Hobart's outer suburbs. He's on a waiting list for surgery after a back injury. It's meant he's been unable to work for years.
It's too expensive for me to live elsewhere.
As the housing crisis continues, more and more ads for alternative dwellings like caravans and tiny homes are popping up on sites like Marketplace and Gumtree, often for higher than expected prices. In our search, we found a shed in Devonport advertised for $300 a week, a one-room cabin the size of a cubby house for $175 a week in Cygnet, and even a homemade yurt for sale, which the seller said had comfortably housed 2 people last winter.
It's pretty clear that people are seeing that as an opportunity. They're seeing it as an opportunity to take advantage of a market that is completely skewed against people who are looking for a safe place to call home.
The rise in alternative dwellings poses problems beyond affordability. Rules and regulations around their use differ across municipalities, from build quality to how they're connected into services, and even how long you can stay in one spot. Councils say they're trying to balance ensuring properties are safe with not wanting to push people into even less stable options.
That's the crux of it. That is so challenging for councils, and so councils, we wrote to the state government, wrote to the minister, and we are going to be working with the state government to find some ways through this.
Government, councils and state planning have set up a working group, but they're yet to have their first meeting.
South Australia's River Murray residents are facing tough decisions over the future of their homes. Waters may have receded months ago, but the long and difficult cleanup continues.
Glenn Stadulka has been flat out cleaning up his Walker Flat home. The property was devastated by the Murray River flood.
Even when we go inside now, it is rather disappointing to see all the work that you put in over the years has basically been in vain.
He's one of many river residents waiting on his insurance claim to be finalised before he makes a decision about whether to tear his house down and start again.
Some insurance companies, depending on what they're coming and seeing, are just jumping at the job and getting stuck into it, but they're mostly in more expensive houses.
The Mid-Murray Council was South Australia's worst hit district during the flood.
We've had just over 2,300 dwellings impacted, and I believe other councils have had around 100.
The Mid-Murray Council is set to meet with state government representatives in May to discuss additional support for those who need more help to rebuild their lives after the flood. It comes at a critical time for river communities who are hoping to see a return of tourists during the colder season. For the community of Walker Flat, business is slowly picking up again at the general store.
Get up here, it's beautiful and in action and cleaning up really well, and just get here.
A call to support a region in need as it continues to recover.
We now have a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. And that was the weather forecast. Next in sports, Vipers snatch win and Hunters narrow win. Those stories and more after the break.
It's a very different story already here in Madrid.
Can't get away with a shot like that.
And it's just all so easy. They execute so well.
He's a magician in Magic Round, showing all the tricks. Adam Reynolds.
Am I gonna die? I was hoping to get to know you.
Every beginning is the end.
How is Robbie doing?
He's in the ER and needs the operation, but we're short on cash. What should we do now?
I will figure it out.
You attempted to rob a bank, but what for?
It wasn't my fault. Will you please believe me?
And every end is the start of something new.
I love you so much, Emma.
I will be Robbie's father from now on.
Well, folks, after literally years of negotiation between the fan and the management of Steve Menzies, we have secured the great man for the show. Welcome to the fan.
This is all going through my head, and then all of a sudden he passes it back. Oh my God.
Today we have enlisted the help of Panthers co-captain and superstar halfback.
When you've kicked it well, you usually know, and especially on the chip kicks, I usually know.
Thanks to Nathan Cleary, invaluable insight for the fans out there, for the kids out there.
Leopards, bison, cheetahs, and more.
Ideally, all of these animals roaming freely would paint a beautiful picture. However, human progress won't allow that. The next best thing is to give them value.
Join Dan Cabela as he sets out on an international journey of discovery within the world of conservation.
There is no one-size-fits-all solution, and science is the best hope to find answers for their survival.
Hard Truths of Conservation, streaming now on Outdoor.
Timbers just starting to bubble up. Here's the leg.
Welcome back. In sports, a late try to money plus NCDC Port Moresby Vipers centre Gilmore Paul against his old club Croton Hella Wigman in round 3 of the Digital ExxonMobil Cup brought the house down in a thrilling 18 points to 14 finish on Sunday at Santos National Football Stadium. The much anticipated big showdown was marred by a comedy of errors from both sides, especially in the second half.
Wigman's horror start to their title defence continued on Sunday after conceding a late try by former centre Gilmore Paul to deny them their first win of the season. Wigman were leading 14-12 with 3 minutes to go. The match started on a flyer with both teams getting through their sets in the opening quarter, and then mistakes and ill discipline got the better of the teams, resulting in multiple stoppages by the match referee. Vipers from a good attacking set deep inside Wigman's half saw Joel Ginner putting a deft kick through for second rower Bob Gore to draw first blood for a 6-0 lead. From broken play, Hunter's new recruit Junior Igila shifted Wigman's point of attack left to set up former Dabari speedster Andrew Solo for a freakish corner try, later confirmed by the video bunker to trail 4-6. From 20 out, Wigman's little general and captain Solomon Pokare committed the Vipers' defense before he got a perfect pass away to reserve forward Atua Joshua Noguya for a clear run to the line to hit the front 10-6 until half-time. After the break, Vipers' lanky winger Yaki Benjamin, showing some fancy footwork and speed, raced away for a 10-all scoreline. Wigman would return the favour minutes later when Igila created space on the left edge for 19-year-old debutant Anda Endaso to score his first try, let alone give Wigman's first win of the season at 14-12. Vipers fullback Eden Gabi was a constant threat to Wigman's defence, using his elusive footwork and speed. The star-studded Vipers side did not panic and continued to persevere in their attack deep into the Wigman's half. With less than 3 minutes remaining, Vipers centre Gilmore Paul came up with a big play, 10 out from the Wigman's line, exchanging passes with winger Menson Lucky, who threw a no-looker back on the inside for Gilmore to snatch a gutsy win 18-14 over his whole team.
Actually, I want to thank Ella Wigman for a tough game this afternoon. It's a bit scrappy here, but we're all on our defense to win this game. I think we're working on draw balls and ruck area defense, so we'll be polishing up on that as we move forward. We work on that as we prepare for our next game against Civic Pride.
Yeah, it's been a hard game, and thank you. The boys put hard yards throughout the game. We worked during the week, throughout loose at Gurias, Rabol at Rabol. Thank you for the boys. We come out as a winner, and thank you. Yeah.
Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Gas Resources Central Dabaris recorded their second win of the season on Sunday after coming from behind to beat the Kimbe Cutters 16 points to 10 in round 3 of the 2023 Digicel ExxonMobil Cup at the Santos National Football Stadium. At halftime, the score was 4-all.
Central Dabaris and Kimbe Cutters would share the same DNA since they both joined the PNG National Rugby League competition in the same year, 2019. 4 years on, the rivalry continued on Sunday, with the Dabaris having the upper hand over their brothers from NGI, scoring back-to-back tries in the second half to hand Cutters their third straight loss for the new season. Cutters were first to score in the 5th minute through centre Anthony Longa and led 4-0 for majority of the first half, keeping their opponents at bay defensively. The Dabaris appeared to have underestimated their opponents, shot themselves in the foot on numerous occasions with too many unforced errors, but kept their defensive resolve. Their effort was rewarded with a try to gun centre Lega Batia just in the 39th minute. With 4-all at half-time, the Dabaris came back in the second half with a spring in their step with back-to-back tries. Speed machine Douglas Birica, in his first game back, made a mockery out of the Cutters' defence when he left them in their wake with his footwork, power and speed to race away to the line for an easy touchdown. Lack of direction and game management on the field and structure in their game let the Cutters down with too many drop balls. The Dabaris capitalized on these errors to pile on another 4 points when Batia powered his way over for his second. Cutters number 9 and former Goroka Lahani's Manu Mikame, in a last-gasp effort, got a well-placed kick into the Dabaris in goal for second rower Douglas Raymond to score a remarkable 6 points to put the score at 16-10 in favour of the Dabaris until full-time. Lega Batia was man of the match. The Dabaris coach Stephen Gunua said they could have done better.
Today's game, a win is a win, but I'm not satisfied about the game that we played today. So we're going to go back and work really hard on that, especially my pivots in the middle rows to get the ball distribution out correctly to execute the options.
Cutters coach Lucas Samak said it's back to the drawing board.
We'll be looking forward to improve on our attitude in completing sets and in the defense, to work hard on the defense, and as well as in the field position where we can maintain in the attacking zone.
Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
The SB PNG Hunters have produced a brave 18-10 win over the Mackay Cutters in round 7 of the QRL Host Plus Cup. The home crowd was treated to a grinding 80 minutes of football on Saturday afternoon at the Santos National Football Stadium.
Both Hunters and Cutters traded blows through the middle of the field and either died with the ball on the last or kicked to the corners. Hunters absorbed pressure confidently to work outfield and force a mistake thanks to a towering kick from rookie 5'8" Joshua Mire. From there, the Hunters turned their field position into points with a slick set play from the scrum. Taking the ball out to the back of the shape, fullback Moria skipped across field to slash through the defense with a burst of speed, giving PNG an early lead. Ill-discipline from Mackay around the ruck gave the Hunters another chance to trouble the scoreboard. A backline movement on the Cutters line ended with Benji caught on the left edge, showing some nice skills to fool the defense with a dummy and sneak through the line. As fatigue crept into the game, the ruck area loosened up and Hunters began to dominate. A good grubber from Jamie Mavoko forced an error from the Cutters on the line, but Mackay's defense held firmly despite Mire troubling them with a few out wide. An early penalty in yardage from the home side put Mackay on the attack early. Mackay made the most of a yardage penalty to score through Joe Smith. From a midfield scrum, 5'8" Bailey Gill poked his nose through the line to get an offload away to Gill in support. Brandon Finnegan added the extras to cut the Hunters' lead to 4. Hunters answered right back with Brandon Nima crashed over the line in the corner, finishing a lively attacking set that saw the Hunters charge 80+ meters upfield. Gilly Sekopa latched on to a lovely Mavoko short ball in their very next set to give PNG a 14-6 lead at halftime. With all the possession from the 40th and 60th minute, the Cutters only managed a lone try. Taking confidence from their defense, the Hunters used just 3 tackles in the Cutters' territory to set up tie on the right edge. With a 2-score lead, the Hunters defended right through to the sideline. Skipper Ila Allen said it was good to get a win at home after 2 consecutive disappointing losses on the road.
After a few disappointing games, but full credit to our defense. We stood up, defended ourselves. Full credit to all the boys. They gave in their effort, and we got the victory at the end. At the end of the day, we just want to contribute as much as we can to a good outcome that the team deserves, and that's all that we could do individually. And just glad that I gave my best, and I'm pretty sure everyone did that, and we got the outcome that we wanted.
Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
A dramatic week for Canberra Raiders favourite son Jack Whiten ends in tears when the Green Machine defeated rejuvenated Dolphins 31-30 in the Golden Point thriller. The team grabbed its 4th win of the season. At the full-time siren, Whiten breaks down in tears. It will be a goodbye to his beloved Canberra Raiders, whom he has spent more than a decade playing for. The Raiders 5'8" earlier in the week signed a 4-year contract with South Sydney Rabbitohs in a quest for a premiership ring before he takes off his boots. When news broke out that Whiten was leaving for the Bunnies, fans pointed to coach Ricky Stewart for not handling the situation well. But a different story was told on camera in the post-match interview.
And there's so much lies and innuendo in regards to why Jack's leaving. He's going for a change. He's been here for a long time, and I get that. I really do. We all love him. If we weren't hurt by it, him going, we don't give it. We don't care about him. We don't care about the club. Am I pissed off as he's going? Yeah, I am. But that's his decision. And thanks, guys.
Finally, the West Tigers have produced the upset of the season by stunning the reigning premiers Penrith 12-8 in Bathurst on Saturday night. The incredible win was the Tigers' first of the season and ended a 12-game losing streak that stretched back 273 days. Tigers halfback Luke Brooks delivered his best performance in years and booted 40-20s either side of halftime, which both lead to tries.
It's Brandon Waken. Brooks from inside the 40. He's already got one of these tonight. Oh,
it takes a turn. Ball run around. Simpkin for Wakeham. Fuller floating it. Now a chance. They're in. Nofaluma. Try number 100.
The old run around just gets the players involved. A lot of flat-footed. There's the money ball over the top.
And that ends another edition of TV1 News. Thanks for your company. Until then, bye for now.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.